Ever wondered how deep the rabbit hole of culinary diversity goes? Imagine crunching into a crispy fried tarantula, its legs tickling your taste buds. Or perhaps wrapping your tongue around a wriggling live octopus, its suckers clinging to the roof of your mouth. If that's not enough, how about sinking your teeth into a chunk of fermented shark? The taste as fierce as the creature itself. Stay tuned as we delve into the world of unusual foods from across the globe. Starting our countdown at number 5, we have the crunchy, hairy, somewhat terrifying fried tarantulas. Picture this, a bustling marketplace in Cambodia where vendors hawk their wares with lively chatter. Among the colorful array of fruits, vegetables, meats, and exotic spices, you'll find a treat that's not for the faint-hearted. Yes, you guessed it right. It's the infamous fried tarantulas. The origin of this intriguing dish traces back to the years of Khmer Rouge regime. During that time, food was scarce and people had to resort to eating whatever they could find. This included the plentiful population of tarantulas. Over time, the creepy crawlies transformed from a survival food to a sought-after delicacy, even considered a symbol of fearlessness by the locals. Now let's talk about the cooking process. The tarantulas are first defanged, then marinated in a mixture of MSG, sugar, and chicken stock. After that, they are tossed into a wok of hot oil and fried until they turn a crispy golden brown. Some vendors even add garlic and a sprinkle of herbs for an extra punch of flavor. As for the taste, brace yourself. The exterior is crunchy while the inside is soft and gooey. The legs are similar to crispy chicken wings, but the body and head have a unique flavor, somewhat similar to a cross between chicken and cod. And the abdomen? Well, it's filled with a brown paste consisting of organs, possibly eggs, and excrement. But don't let that deter you. Many tourists and locals alike relish this dish. They claim that once you get past the initial fear and take that first bite, it's an explosion of flavors that's simply unforgettable. Some even say it's a great source of protein and has health benefits, including promoting healthy skin. So, whether you're an adventurous foodie or just someone looking to push your culinary boundaries, fried tarantulas are worth a try. But remember, it's not just about the taste. It's about conquering your fears and embracing the unusual. While it might not be everyone's cup of tea, fried tarantulas are a crunchy delicacy for the brave-hearted. Slithering into our number 4 spot is a dish that's still moving on your plate, the live octopus. Now, if you're thinking that this is some sort of culinary special effect, think again. This is very much a real dish, and a popular one at that, in South Korea. Known locally as sanakji, live octopus is a spectacle of a dish that has become an integral part of the country's culinary culture. In fact, it's not just about the food, it's an experience. The octopus, typically a small one, is prepared fresh and served immediately, often still writhing on the plate. That's right. The tentacles, even post-separation from the body, continue to squirm, the suckers still suctioning. It's a sight that might make some squirm, but for others, it's part of the thrill. And it's not just about the thrill of eating something still moving. As with many dishes in South Korea, there's a certain artistry and technique involved in eating sanakji. You have to be careful as the suckers on the tentacles can stick to your mouth or throat, which is why it's often served chopped into small pieces and accompanied with a strong shot of soju, a traditional Korean spirit. But beyond the initial shock factor, many find the taste of live octopus to be surprisingly delightful. It's described as having a clean, briny taste that's beautifully complemented by a light dip in sesame oil. The texture, meanwhile, is unlike anything else, a unique combination of chewy and crunchy that's oddly satisfying. So, if you're an adventurous eater looking to push your culinary boundaries, or perhaps a thrill seeker searching for your next adrenaline rush, sanakji might just be the dish for you. It's a dish that challenges not just your palate, but also your courage. It's not just a meal, it's a story, a tale of daring and adventure that you can share with others. For those seeking a truly adventurous meal, live octopus might just hit the spot. Swimming into the number 3 spot is a dish that's not for the faint of heart, fermented shark. This is not your average seafood, my friends. This delicacy hails from the frosty shores of Iceland, where it's known as heikarl, a traditional food that has been enjoyed or endured, depending on who you ask, for centuries. Now you might be wondering, how does one ferment a shark? And why? Well, let's dive into the icy waters of Icelandic cuisine to find out. The Greenland shark, which is typically used for this dish, is actually poisonous when fresh. Yes, you heard it right. The high levels of urea and trimethylamine oxide in its flesh can induce effects similar to extreme drunkenness. So, to make it safe to eat, the shark is first buried in the ground and left to ferment for 6 to 12 weeks. This process allows the harmful substances to break down. After this, the shark is dug up and hung to dry for several more months. The result? A dish that's as unique as it is infamous. The smell alone is notorious, often compared to ammonia or very strong cheese. And the taste? It's been described as a potent cheese-flavored fish, with a texture similar to raw fish, but with a more pungent kick. Eating hakarl is considered a rite of passage for many Icelanders, often accompanied by a shot of local spirit called brennivin to help it go down. It's also a popular dare for tourists wanting to test their culinary bravery. But be warned, this is not a dish for everyone. Its powerful smell and taste have been known to bring even the most adventurous eaters to their knees. Some love it, some hate it, and some can't even bring themselves to try it. So whether you're an intrepid food explorer or just enjoy a good culinary tale from the comfort of your own home, the story of fermented shark is certainly one to remember. It's safe to say, fermented shark is an acquired taste. Bubbling up to number 2 is a dish with a smell that's infamous worldwide, surströmming. This Swedish delicacy, surströmming, is not for the faint-hearted or the sensitive-nosed. Let's dive into its peculiar world. Surströmming, in essence, is fermented herring. But it's not as simple as it sounds. This dish carries with it a tradition that dates back centuries and a smell that can wake up a hibernating bear. The preparation process of surströmming starts innocently enough. Baltic herring, caught in the spring, are initially preserved in a strong brine solution, just enough to prevent them from rotting. The magic, or the horror, depending on your perspective, happens in the fermentation process that follows. The herring are packed in a weaker brine solution inside a can, where they continue to ferment. This process can last for several months, during which the can bulges due to the gases produced by fermentation. But what makes surströmming notorious is not the fermentation process per se, but the resultant aroma, or rather the stench. The moment the can is opened, a potent smell is unleashed that can only be described as a blend of strong cheese, rotten eggs, and vinegar, with a hint of ammonia. It's an aroma that has been dubbed as one of the most putrid in the world. Yet Swedes have a special place in their hearts and their palates for surströmming. It's traditionally consumed outdoors, for obvious reasons, and is usually a part of a late summer feast, paired with flatbread, potatoes, and a shot of schnapps for the brave. The taste, they say, is uniquely sour, salty, and umami, quite unlike anything else. Many people have a strong reaction to surströmming's potent smell. Some gag, others tear up, and a few brave souls actually relish it. It's a testament to the adventurous spirit of food lovers who dare to explore beyond the conventional boundaries of flavor and aroma. Surströmming, a dish that truly tests the limits of your olfactory senses. And finally, cracking into our number 1 spot, is a dish that's as controversial as it is unusual, balut. This Filipino delicacy is not for the faint-hearted, but locals swear by it, and it has been a culinary tradition for centuries. Balut is a fertilized duck egg, incubated for a period between 16 to 20 days, just until the embryo inside reaches a certain level of development. It's then boiled and served warm, often with a sprinkle of salt or a splash of vinegar. Crack the shell open, and you'll find a mix of textures and flavors: the rich, creamy yolk, the firm, savory white, and the slightly crunchy, feathery embryo, which is the star of the show. Now let's talk about the reactions. For those unaccustomed to it, the sight of a partially developed duck embryo might be a bit shocking. But for those who have braved this unusual delicacy, the responses vary widely. Some find it delicious, a perfect blend of flavors that's both comforting and exotic. Others, however, find the thought and taste a bit too adventurous for their palate. But regardless of the reactions, the cultural significance of balut in the Philippines is undeniable. It's a symbol of Filipino resilience and creativity, turning what might be seen as odd or off-putting into a beloved national treasure. Balut, a dish that truly defines the term unusual food.